From Yarm to Yibby, Harrington to Horsley Hill, Swarwell to Silverlink. The North East Footy Breakfast with Roy, Steve and Ted.
Right across the North East, the Red, the Toon and the Cat.
And Ryan, you're thinking about coming over here, mate, with a weather forecast like that? What the hell are you thinking about? Jeez.
Morning, lads.
Warnings. Jeez.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, boys.
Good morning.
So you can tell it's the international break when your hosts are taking bets on what the temperature's going to be in the UK.
Split us in the middle. Couldn't believe it.
No accumulated. I know. Yeah, I went 7. I went 9.
You're up the weather.
Drama.
Just stick your head outside. That's what I do. Don't bother.
Exactly.
Don't bother.
Who won the bet?
It split us down the middle. I went 7.
I
went 9.
Right, okay. And Steve didn't participate.
No.
Close to geography.
I was just about to say that as well.
Steve, what is this hatred of jogger? What is the hatred? Where does it stem from?
I don't want to just hear quizzes. I don't like losing. The geography one was the
So we've
first
got what the fuck coming up?
Well, thanks for joining us on
I like
International
that 'cause
Quiz
it's got
Day.
a good
Yeah.
tune.
And that was your breakfast show this morning. Daz is here with his mid-morning nonsense. It's funny if he's just turned the radio on, he's going to be going, what time is it? What?
He doesn't come in on time when it's my show.
That's true, mind.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah, I think he did it deliberate,
But
Steve. I'll set up a
Got
situation.
a
I
long
don't know.
memory.
Steve the elephant. Never forgets.
There's
Has
a
been said.
children's book that needs writing. Steve the elephant. I can see that. I can see that being a hit. Actually.
I can see
Yeah,
that.
you're not wrong.
Steve the elephant. Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, packed.
It's got a ring to it. It's got a ring to it. I quite like it. Oh, Steve, no stranger to kids' books though. Yeah, haven't you written one?
Written 2, mate. Yep.
2 kids books.
2.
My God.
Yeah.
My God.
The
Radio,
Milk Thief.
radio host,
The
TV
Ghost that couldn't
pundit,
square.
actor,
Yep.
podcaster,
Yep.
YouTuber,
Yep.
author.
Oh, and I'm watching footage right now. Centre back extraordinaire. This tackle he lays on
Yeah.
a yellow shirt bloke. My goodness me. They lost Botman. I tell you who's your replacement right now. He's a black boots.
Yep.
He's a tough old defender. Is Stevie Wraith. Look at that tackle. My God, you haven't lost a minute.
You pull the boots back on, Steve.
Looks like
He did.
looks like
time in
Pascal
15
Sagan
years.
tackles like Steve Bold. Tell you.
First time in 15 years, lads.
Oh, I'm doing the same this weekend, Saturday. Whistle in hand, boots are on. I've got to find the referee's kit. I'm refereeing Durham Cester in the game against Utrecht.
Oh, with VAR.
That's gonna be fun
International.
trying that
An
on.
international.
That black
Should you
shirt's gonna
fly
look like
over,
it's been
right? Give us some
sprayed on.
stick.
I should. We should all go to the game. We should do a North East Footy Brekky Show from Dave's touchline.
What,
Brilliant.
just hurl abuse at the ref.
Basically, yeah.
Run a comedy. That's the only
This
quiz.
Ref has no idea.
That's a quiz Steve would like to do. It's the only quiz Steve would like to do. Come on, listener. Send us your abuse. What is the best line you could hit Dave with? Yeah, come on. Yeah, I can see it now, Steve.
wow.
I can see it now.
Yeah, I think we need an after 9 p.m. show for that day. To be honest. A breakfast after dark special. Yeah.
Do you, Doctor?
Better take off that.
No,
Bang.
as if would be that mean.
You can tell our 3 clubs are not doing too well when they're on the pitch, can't you? Because we have a football-free week and we're all jolly and happy.
Hey.
Oh,
I mean,
do you know
we're
what? I thoroughly
always
enjoyed
happy.
it. I've eaten like a king. We had a works party on Saturday night, and honestly, the Cypriots know how to do a buffet. Like it's none of this like sort of
Talk
curled
to
up
me.
sandwiches and stuff like that. It's all like barbecue chicken thighs and beautiful cuts of pork and belly pork.
Oh my
I've got busy in the
goodness.
kitchen yesterday as well. Whipped up a bit of Chinese for the missus as well.
Mate, you're a bit of a whiz in the kitchen, aren't you?
I love
He
it.
is.
I absolutely love it.
Some of those pictures of the food you've sent. Wow.
Yeah. He's our
Oh,
resident chef, 100%.
The chicken tikka is me own personal favourite. Like I love making that. It's a 24-hour marinade, and then just I love it.
You got a spare
Absolutely
room?
Love it. Complete. I'm sat in it.
I'll stroke the cats. I don't mind. I'll stroke the cats.
For 2 hours a day. It's not the spare room. It's the studio. But I'm not allowed to call it that anywhere else or after that time.
Do you think when he goes to you can see him in the bar, can't you? He'll be in Napa with pints in hand. He'll be saying to them, "Oh, I've got to go to the studio later." I've got to go to the studio, guys.
Mate, I'm too old for Iron Napper. I can turn up at a nightclub and Iron Napper and people go, oh, someone's in trouble, their dad's here. You know, it's not a good look for me, mate. But no, I tell you what, I was thinking about this and I want to launch straight into it before we do the headlines. I'm going to change it up a little bit. Breakfasts. Because there was a couple of arguments I saw online about this, lads. No, I'm talking about English breakfast, right? Ooh, because somebody, so I'm not going to name names, somebody in my personal circle of friends over the weekend, I'm saying circle of friends, they might be out of it after this, they reckon it's acceptable to have chips on a breakfast.
No.
Oh, no. Nah.
If they're covered in curry sauce, I might think.
It's a holiday thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I think so, Steve. I mean, we see it in sort of, you know, the inadvertent commoners English pubs over here, which is, I mean, it's got like a battered old phone box, and I think that's how it qualifies as an English pub. And they might have a Connect 4 with 7 pieces missing. But yeah, other than that, it's chips on a breakfast store. I mean,
I tell you where this has come from. It's come from mixed grills. It's come from mixed grills at Wetherspoons.
Yeah, I've
got another theory as well. It might have come from the US. There might be some US influence because they have fried potatoes for breakfast on their breakfast plate traditionally.
Well, I was going to ask,
is acceptable.
You're talking fries, right?
No,
not like crisps.
We're talking fried potatoes. It's like diced, almost cut into chunks. Yeah, chunks of potato.
Yeah. No, I was just referring to what Ted's chips means because I'm pretty sure your chips means the same things for me.
So. Yeah. We're not the Americans. Okay. We're not the Americans.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, that kind of chips. And the other thing for me, lads, it's not a breakfast without black pudding.
Oh no! I
used
to love black pudding, but I gave it up, mate. Gave it up.
See, I've never tried it, and I don't think I ever would. I don't think I could. I don't think I could do it.
No.
I don't think I could do it.
I couldn't do it now.
I don't think I could do it.
If you didn't know what it was, I bet you'd like it.
100%, I reckon I would. 100% I would. And I think if you put it on my plate, and I just didn't know, I'd think a bit of sausage, I'd tuck right into that bad boy. But I know to look out for that thing, and I just can't. I can't. It's making me feel
Steve?
Weird now.
Yeah, I love black pudding. I love white pudding as well.
You don't see that often, do you? I mean, I can just
what is white pudding?
I was going to ask the same. What's white pudding?
What's a white pudding?
The Irish specialise in it, really. If you get an Irish butcher's pack, you can get white pudding. So it's not as prevalent in the UK, in England, but in Ireland, they love it. But I think white pudding's probably just pips black pudding for me. Black pudding's got a slightly harsher taste, whereas the white pudding's a bit softer. But it's exactly the same. Exactly
no
the same.
Blood.
Yeah, no blood. Yeah, more or less.
I mean, that's the interesting thing for me. We look at, I went to Vietnam and they love things like duck's blood and things like that.
How old were you, Dave? 19?
Yeah. And you go, what? and then you come home and tuck into black pudding. It's like, what's the difference? Other than the animal.
I love the fact Steve just sneaked in a Paul Hardcastle joke and people probably scratching their heads going, what's he on about?
Hey, I'm young and I got it. That was a good one. I really like that. That was a really good one.
No.
Clonakilty. Clonakilty, white pudding. Clonakilty. Is that right? Clonakilty. Wow.
By the way, we've got the first message of the morning in from Stu Gawley in British Columbia, Canada, who's listening. Well, that wasn't too bad an accent. Hey, I could be an actor after all. What do you mean? Do you have your glasses on, ref? So there's the first bit of abuse coming in. I should never have mentioned it.
See, that's tame. That's tame, I feel. You know what I mean?
I was going to say.
It is a breakfast show, though.
And
true.
Good point,
Stu is Canadian, obviously. Canadians are notoriously friendly and nice.
Excellent guard railing. That man will go a long way.
If people can listen to us when we're off air, when we're having a go at Dave for not pressing the right button, I mean, that would probably be more accurate.
It's not behind his back either, We're decent. We're doing it in his face.
I know you love me, really. I know I'm loved.
Of course we do.
But at least I have to tell myself that. Otherwise, it's not worth coming in, is it? Should we do some then?
I think we should really. We should do some headlines because we've got a lot to get through this morning, believe it or not.
Really? I want to tell you about Americans as well and planes at some point, so don't let me forget that one.
All right.
I've been getting ready. I'm off on a trip in a week's time, and I just cannot believe what the Americans allow you to take onto a plane, whether it's in your suitcase or in your carry-ons. But we'll do that a bit later after this.
Yes. Smoggies and Proud. Borough News.
guys. Happy Monday. Your boy is back in the studio for one day only before I rejoin the Socceroos tomorrow. Middlesbrough youngster Josh Coburn has been backed to have a great future by a man who has seen him blossom on Teesside. Matt Crooks, oh, how we miss you, Tree. He might be playing his trade halfway around the world with Real Salt Lake City now in the United States, but the 30-year-old still follows his old club. Crooks feels Coburn has the right attributes to succeed. He also revealed a perhaps underrated aspect to his game, and not one that is common amongst tall strikers. He said Coburn stands 6'3" tall, but Crooks says he's one of the fastest players at the club. Get out of it. Crooks went on the podcast and said, I think it's Izzy, Alex Bangura, and then Josh in terms of 1, 2, 3, who's the fastest at our club. I think off the top of my head, in terms of sprinting speed, that's how it finished. I knew I would get a strange look by saying that. What a reveal that is. Joshy Coburn, you speed demon, you. And Michael Carrick has described himself as excited to see what the future holds for Middlesbrough's prospect, Sammy Silvera, after a mixed first season at the club. It's probably thanks to the amount of injuries Borough have had this year that Sammy has been thrown into the deep end at times, deployed in multiple positions, including that of a striker. A lot has been asked of Sammy in his first season, while Sammy himself revealed to The Red last week in a personal one-on-one interview that he's looking to lock down a first-team place to make his own. Expressing his faith in the young Aussie, Michael Carrick has spoken about Sammy, saying, I'm excited by Sammy. It was a huge step for him to come over in the summer. The intensity in this league in comparison to what he's been used to, it's a big change, but he's dealt with it really, really well. He's got a huge talent and he's a really dangerous player. He's shown that in glimpses so far. He now wants more football, as he should do. I'm really excited to see what he can do between now and the end of the season. He always seems to find a way, building into next year. Hey, big steps. That's your Borough headlines. Josh Coburn, Sammy Silvera. Good morning.
Magpies and proud. Mags News.
Newcastle United women fell to a crushing 2-1 defeat in the FA Women's National League Cup final at the hands of #UnitedWomen. An own goal in the opening stages had United ahead at Kenilworth Road, but goals either side of half-time from Macy Nichols and Phoebe Williams were enough to hand #the cup. Anthony Gordon became the 40th player to represent England since Matt Kingsley in 1901. His debut lasted 75 minutes at Wembley. Gordon left the pitch with the scores level, but Hendrick, that's no relation to Jeff, scored a late winner for Brazil to leave some fans calling for Southgate to be sacked before the Euros. And Martin Dubravka was also in international action for Slovakia and conceded a goal after 6 seconds, reported by various media outlets as the quickest recorded international goal. And tickets for the Northumberland Senior Cup semi-final between Ashington and Newcastle under-21s next month are now on general sale on Ashington's website. Prices are £9 adults, £5 seniors and students, and £3 for under-16s. The Colliers will host United at Woodhorn Lane on Tuesday, April the 9th, and it's a 7:30 kick-off. Capacity is being set at 1,500 and advance purchase is advised. That's your Newcastle headlines on Monday morning.
Mackems and proud. Black Cats News.
Good morning, Sunderland fans. Another weekend where we don't get beat. Fantastic, isn't it? Sunderland wonder kid Chris Rigg once again captained England's under-17s to victory this weekend. The 16-year-old netted a goal in England's 5-0 win over Hungary, with the under-17s unbeaten during their first 2 games so far during the international break. Rigg also captained England's under-17s team to a 5-1 win over Northern Ireland earlier last week, a game in which the highly rated youngster bagged 2 assists. England are competing in the UEFA Under-17 Europe Championship qualifying games and will come up against France after the wins against Northern Ireland and Hungary, with all the games being played at St George's Park. Ian Hart, the agent of Sunderland man Jack Clark, provided an update on his client's transfer and contract situation as the lads headed into the international break. Hart said there was a clause in Jack's contract that if he played a certain amount of games, which he had back earlier on in the season, then he was to be offered a new deal. There was an offer made, but it wasn't good enough. Every football club has its structures to work to, but when you have a player like Jack, sometimes structures have to be broken, and I don't think that's going to change, unfortunately. We, meaning myself and Jack, were happy to sign an additional deal at Sunderland, but I don't think they are willing to budge, unfortunately. I think under the current structure that they have, I don't think the offer will increase. And finally, Sunderland women's manager Melanie Ray said her side's resilience was the key in their thrilling 5-3 victory over Durham in the River Weir derby. The game was played in front of a record attendance this season, with 1,477 fans being treated to a high-scoring, all-action game of football. Goals from Emily Scarr, Mary McAteer, Jenna Deere and Katie Watson ensured Sunderland maintained their lead at the top of the Championship table. There's your Sunderland headlines.
On DAB radio, online and smart speakers.
The tune, the cat and the red.
And not an error in sight. My fingers are flying this morning.
Right. Well, I mean...
I like that jingle. It was a little bit Eddie Grant Electric Avenue.
Really? You like it?
It had a little bit about it.
Would you like it again? Would you like just have a little...
Yeah, go on.
A little sniff here. Here we go.
On DAB radio, online and smart
see what you mean
The tune, the cat and the red.
Indeed.
We're gonna run on. Anyway, yeah. You don't need to hear me singing, do you? No.
I do.
Plus, I get done for singing in accents, apparently. Apparently, that's not acceptable.
You sing in accents, do you? Oh, all right, okay. Is this part of the walkery?
Yes, yeah. I thought you meant the rockery, which is like I've just thought we talking like Jonathan Ross.
Good job you can't see the makeup he's wearing.
Oh, stop.
No, keep it going. It's entertaining.
No, absolutely not. Let's talk about something much more entertaining. Let's talk about that England performance. We've got 2 minutes to a break, and this is all the time I want to spend.
Well, I hope somebody else can talk about it because I didn't even watch it.
Yeah. It was just dire. To have that amount of attacking talent on the pitch, lads, and just to look like the most lifeless, soulless team that's ever been put onto a football pitch. Is that all down to Southgate, Steve? Because for me, that's all it can be.
He's lost the plot, hasn't he? He really has. Picking players who haven't really performed well this season in the squad is what we've been talking about for weeks. And will he go to Manchester United? Will he leave? Will Eddie Howe go to England? It's all been part of our remit on the last few weeks on this breakfast show. And that performance didn't do anything to tell me that he's going to see England, into the World Cup. I just think it's gone stale. That's the best way to describe it. I think the bright spark in the game was Anthony Gordon. I think he did himself the world of good. I think he's, if he can perform as well on Tuesday, personally, I think he's booked himself a ticket onto the plane, because there was a couple of other performances in there that Bellingham always stands out, but other than that, I thought Gordon was the standout man. I thought Conor Gallagher looked lost. I saw one or two people saying he had a good game. I don't know what game you were watching. It wasn't the same game as me. I thought Conor Gallagher was awful. But Brazil, this isn't the 1970s World Cup Brazil. This isn't the 1990s Brazil. This is a poor Brazil team. A very poor Brazil team, and a young Brazil team with Endrick up front, ploughing a lone furrow and getting quite fortunate with a goal, it has to be said, but in the sense that it wasn't a spectacular Brazilian goal we're used to from the corner flag or the halfway line. It was it was a scrambled effort which separated the two sides, but Brazil are just a shadow of their former selves, and England should have made them pay, really. They should have won that game comfortably, but there's something not right. Phil Foden, who's one of the best players in the Premier League, is made to look average playing for England. Now I think we've hit this kind of Gerrard Lampard situation where Southgate's struggling to fit the two of them into the same team and get the best out of Bellingham and Foden, and I think that's an issue. But marks out of 10, 5. And I can see Southgate playing out this tournament as his last. We've seen this before, though. We've seen teams go into the tournament, really playing badly, and then ultimately, finding form and getting to the semi-final or the final. But as I've said last week, and I said the week before, I think that Gareth Southgate missed the boat on winning trophies in the last two tournaments, and that. I'll be very, very surprised if they win this tournament. But yeah, poor performance all around.
We're going to take a quick break, but I want to come back to this. I know I said I was going to spend a couple of minutes up, but I lied. And
that's good. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah, it's allowed.
I'm going to deliberately mislead you all, and we'll come back to that after this short break.
Love that.
Yep, spot on.
From Wickham to Whitley Bay, Stonygate to Shields, Doggy to Darlow Backlane, Steve, Ted and Rye, the North East Footy Breakfast.
Right across the North East, the Red, the Toon and the Cat.
And Stu's been back on from Canada. He says it's hash browns.
Morning,
Dave.
Stu.
It's not hash browns. They also do fried potatoes as well as hash browns, mate. And I know you're living in North America.
As well as hash browns?
Yeah, they're fried potatoes. They serve them up. It's just like little diced potatoes. They've cut them up into little dicey sort of shapes.
Okay.
And they fry them and put them on your plate. But there you go. Nice to see your fingers are fingering, Dave. That's what Stu follows up with. Well, there you go, you see.
No problem.
Okay.
Should we have a little
If you live
bit
in a
of
cottage, does it mean you're No, I'm not going to go there.
No, definitely not go there.
Yeah.
Hang on, are we having to put a leash on you? It's probably the other way around, isn't it?
Still drunk from last night.
D-Mob happy.
Come on, let's have what the fact. Let's do that. Then we'll launch into
Steve doesn't like quizzes.
He likes this one.
He does. He likes this one.
Steve,
He will.
No, I hate quizzes, mate.
All right then, Ted, if we must.
Yes!
Fact. Teddy Grant's what the fact.
What the fact?
Monday morning.
Rough.
Fact time. Google it.
I made it too easy for you last time.
It's electric.
I made it far too. I gave you 5 clues last time. You're not getting that. You're getting.
I'm going to get this on the first
clues.
one.
You've got an interesting fact about football. You are not going to get it on the first clue. I'll make sure of that. That'll never happen. The first clue is the answer has sex appeal. The answer has sex appeal.
Okay.
Now that could go a number of ways. That one we've got to be careful with that one.
It could. It could be. It could be.
Nobody dares say things. Steve does dare, but we have to be like hovering over that button because we don't know what he's going to say next.
The answer is David Beckham.
It's not.
Damn.
But now we know how you feel about Beckham.
I was tossing up between him and Prime Ronaldo.
I think everyone
the
does.
answer has sex appeal. I mean, we're talking.
I feel like Beckham's aged better than Ronaldo.
7 billion people on the planet. 8 million football teams. 37 billion footballers.
Yeah.
And
but only one David Beckham.
And the answer's got sex appeal. I'm asking you.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've got no chance of getting it from that clue.
Steve, I can understand why you hate quizzes, mate.
Exactly. And just because I got it last week, he's making this extremely
Stop being aggressive.
He is.
Stop being aggressive. There's genuine angst there. I love it. I absolutely love it. So, yes, your interesting fact about football today. The first clue is the answer has sex appeal.
Sex appeal. Obviously, there's a clue in the question. Unless it wouldn't be a question.
There is, yeah.
Sex appeal. It's got to be sex appeal. The answer. Answer. Is there any footballers called Answer? Ghanaians? No.
There was a movie called Sex
that?
Appeal.
Is there?
I'm groaning.
I don't want to know.
Live from the toilet by the sounds of it.
Is there a Ghanaian centre forward called Sex Answer? No, I guess not. Okay.
I mean, people do say it is the answer, but no.
And the answer to many things, yeah, indeed.
Yes.
We'll not go there. It's in a breakfast
so there
show.
you go.
Yeah,
no,
yeah. We keep having to put those guardrails in place this morning, don't we? Oh,
yep, we
terrible,
do.
Terrible.
And mainly because of you, but there we go.
There you go.
Who'd have thunk it? One thing I did want to pick up on, lads, just after the England game, there was a few
calling it a game.
The pundits, well, yeah, barely. I mean, it was a glorified testimonial, really, wasn't it? Joe Cole said that it was a good, solid England performance, and there's a few of these pundits now, the ex-players especially, are very much guilty of this, of not saying anything negative about England. Is this because they're scared not to get their seat to go to the tournament and watch the games, or what is this hidden agenda? Is there something contractually, do you think, where they are just not going to say anything negative about England? Dave, I mean, you've been in this game a long time now, mate, and you've been around pundits. You've known a lot of pundits personally. I find it quite ridiculous for somebody like Joe Cole, who's been a good player in his day, a very good player in his day, actually, to kind of, I don't know, just watch a totally different game to us, or is he just lying through his teeth?
The biggest problem you have with pundits is they're all mates or ex-mates or ex-colleagues, and they don't want to upset themselves. So a lot of them just sit on the fence, but will remain a former professional footballer rather than transition into being a football pundit. So they come in because of their name. Producers like to sign names as pundits, because why else would that person be there unless they're a well-known household name that's played football at a decent level. But they come in and they'll take the money, they'll take the silver shilling, and they won't criticise, because it takes a big set of cojones to have somebody come in and start criticising your former colleagues and your former mates. And it's almost an unwritten rule, which is you just don't do it. So your best pundits are those who've sussed that and tend to tell it as it is. And, you know, Gary Neville, I didn't like him as a footballer, but at least he comes out and says something. You know, Alan Shearer's starting to do that now. He will criticise constructively when there's criticism needed. But the vast majority of pundits, whether it be radio or television or digital now, they just don't want to do it. They're a member of the club, the former professionals club, and you know, it's just not the done thing.
Yeah. I've got a shocking confession to make here. As a pundit, and as a pundit only, I actually quite like Alan Shearer. And I do whisper that quietly. It's a good job nobody's recording this, so it's not going out live, and it's definitely not going to be on a podcast later.
Just a chat between friends.
And won't be repeated between 4 and 6 this afternoon. Absolutely. No.
It's a safe space, Ted. You tell us everything, mate. So go on about how you and Alan Shearer are best friends.
Sit in the couch and just talk to us, mate.
You
I feel like
and Alan Shearer.
On the couch after that. Like.
Hang on, where's my breaking news jingle? Mackem likes Shearer.
Loves. I wouldn't say likes. Loves.
Okay.
I didn't say loves.
So can we be really Fleet Street Red Top-ish?
Yeah.
Mackem wants a affair with Shearer. There you go.
Yeah.
Man crush on Newcastle star.
Ted the Mackem wants Shearer for manager job at Sunderland. Oh, that's a headline there.
Absolutely never.
Why is Steve being sensible?
I'm just listening.
I think he's in shock.
Oh, we've got to mention Steve. We've got to mention
himself. Yeah,
we've got to mention Steve. We've got. I can't do WhatsApp. They're all coming in via DMs. It's Stu Golly again, who's obviously listening, and he said the answer to what the fact, because the answer has sex appeal, is Steve's bald head.
Oh
my God!
It's good, but it's not right. But it's
sex
nice
appeal,
you've
Steve.
To the fun there, Steve.
I appreciate that, mate. Thanks,
Stevie.
He is a very nice man. Yeah.
I mean, those headshots, though.
I know. Even I found them
those
sexy.
headshots.
I know,
it's the
pout, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the little purse of the lips.
Turn.
You know something. Stop teasing, Steve.
Rise turning.
It's literally like how he's facing away from the camera. Yeah, he's facing away from the camera, and they're like, "Okay, look at me, Steve," and it's that devilish stare that then comes out that camera. Oh, wow!
It's the little look back, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah, over the shoulder.
Do you know what that look is? It's that look of the sexy actor who's in a gangster movie.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now
the
he said the
lovable
answer's not Steve. I want it to be now. I want the answer to be Steve.
Sadly, it's not. However, I will endeavour to make a what the fact where Steve is the answer at some point.
Well, now you pull the boots back on, you can.
Yes,
football.
That's it. Yes, like a bald Adonis streaking across that line. Honestly,
we've retired the stock line of Mario Balotelli, and now it's Steve Wraith.
Steve Wraith.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Every question we get, Steve Wraith.
Every what the fact, I'm guessing Steve Wraith.
It's not right, but there you go.
Incorrect.
Where were we going before this? I was actually going with somewhere with
England,
this.
Brazil.
Yeah, punditry. Yes.
Punditry.
So,
that's right.
I mean, obviously, you have the likes of Shearer, you have the likes of Roy Keane, you've got Graham Souness there, who are what I call the honest voices of punditry.
And that's why they get paid the most money out of all the pundits, because they're decent, because they'll speak. Yeah. They'll speak their mind.
See, I love that about them. And the question is on Ryan.
Keno's fantastic.
I'm sure you've seen them plenty of times.
I have.
Do we need more of them, or is that what makes the likes of Souness and Keane so special? Is because they're in the minority of people who dare speak the truth about what they see?
Yeah, it's a good point, actually, that you say they're in the minority, because they absolutely are. And the people that I feel like the thing that I'm learning about this online world and this social media aspect and all that sort of stuff is that if you're just honest and being who you are, then there's nothing to hide. There's no fake, like, you know what I mean? There's no sort of, no one can come back to you and say, well, you're being fake or anything like that. And people just want honest people telling them, what their honest views are. They don't need to be, led down the garden path on how good England could be or anything like that, because they all sat there, they all watched it, they've all got their own opinion. And they know it was dire. So when Joe comes out and says, I still think they were good, you exactly like we are sitting here, Ted, you brought it up straight away, that you're like, no, well, that's not on, because we know they played dire. Do you know what I mean? So you're absolutely right. The minority stands out because they say exactly what everyone is thinking.
Exactly. Put the boots on like Steve Rafe.
They were bad. Like, they were real bad. I think you're absolutely right. What Dave had to say as well. I think that some of these ex-players are still so connected with that group of players, whether they've they've got mates there. You know what I mean? They're friends with Gareth. They're friends with players, whatever it may be. And they're not willing to just come on and dump on their mates. They're just not going to do it, and they're not going to do it. And like, if they're got tickets to the Euros, they've got all this access as a pundit, then they're not going to go. Maybe it's England, the FA or something that are giving the tickets to Joe or giving him the access. You know what I mean? Like with FIFA, the FA here in Australia, they were the ones that brought me in with the press stuff and stuff. So maybe, like, I'm not going to sit here and slag on them, am I? Do you know what I mean? So it's just. It's you're absolutely right. The minority stands out because they're saying exactly what everyone thinks, and you know what? I love them for it because they just don't care.
And the people, the problem with people like me and Dave, you see,
it's amazing.
You see, Dave's fell out with people at, say, Middlesbrough, for example. Yep. I've fell out with people at Newcastle United, and that's because we're people who speak with mind. And that, unfortunately, when you're connected to a football club and you're that passionate, then you speak your mind, and that's it. And it can be at the detriment. But yeah, Rye, you've hit the nail on the head there. It's people looking after their own, like themselves. People looking after people. People getting tickets in exchange for not saying anything negative about something when clearly you should be. It's not wrong. It's just that's someone's personal. Personal choice.
And I can understand it because I think if you're a Souness or you're Keno just doesn't give a toss. I mean, that's Keno. I'm going to say what I want because I'm Roy Keane and I don't give a toss. So that's Keno. He's unique. But I think others, if you're a Shearer, if you're a Souness, you've got your career is being a media pundit now. And bloody good ones. So they can take off the old hat of being a former player because they know they've got a full-time gig and a full-time post-football career. So they can do it. The guys like the Joe Coles who get shipped in for games here, there, and now and again, and it's not their full-time career going forward. So they still maybe, a chunk of them will still have aspirations about getting into club management or coaching. They need favours from their mates, so it's difficult for them to criticise. And they don't get enough TV appearances to forge a new career, so it's not worth their while to come out and criticise. Even if it's constructively, they just want to keep their mates happy because you never know when you need to knock on Gareth's door, or you never need to know when to go. And I've been tarred with a brush at times of being a bit of a loose cannon because I've spoken my mind, and then I'm told, we can't trust you. Well, what I said was actually constructive. Yeah, it was critical. We can't trust you. And that's where these lads they get caught between a rock and a hard place because the majority of them are not going to be full-time employed as a pundit, so therefore they're looking at this balance and being careful.
But they want the job again.
I think they want to be invited back. Absolutely. And the other thing, right, is I think when you mentioned the three that we've talked about there, we've talked about Souness, we've talked about Roy Keane, we've talked about Alan Shearer. What's the one thing that all three have in common? They were all absolute top draw players. Yeah, they were. And somebody like Joe Cole was a good player, don't get me wrong, but come on, he's not a Roy Keane. He's not of the stature of Roy Keane. He's
I
not
don't
of the
agree with
stature
that,
of
Ted.
Simi.
I can't go with that one. No, because there's a mate of mine, and Ryan will know him very well, Robbie Mustoe, former Middlesbrough midfielder.
Yep.
What a great engine he had. Box to box all the time. Used to run around midfield. I mean, it was as though he had a full tank of energy at the end of a game, as let alone
sex
at the start.
appeal as well.
Oh, Robbie, great lad. And he's gone to the US and he's forged a career. He's now the number one football pundit in the US. You know, and Robbie, he was a Premier League player when he was with Middlesbrough, but he wasn't a Keane, he wasn't a Souness, he wasn't a Shearer. But he's a fantastic pundit. And the reason why is because I've spoken to Robbie about it, and I helped him get into the US because I was over at ESPN at the time. And Robbie analysed what is needed to be a successful pundit. I mean, he's a clever lad. He's a smart lad, is Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at it and said, that's what I want to do. What do I need to be successful? Well, I need to be genuine. I need to be Robbie Mustoe. I don't need to put an act on. I need to be Robbie Mustoe. I need to analyse the game. I need to look for things that commentators who haven't played the game professionally don't see. That's right. You know, so he's gone through all of this. And one of the things he's identified is, I've got to tell it as it is. If I'm going to be a football pundit and what's being served up in front of me is a pile of tripe, I'll tell it is a pile of tripe. You know, equally, if that's fantastic football, I'll say that as well. So he doesn't do it for effect. He backs everything he says with reasoning from an ex-pro's perspective, yet he wasn't a Keane or a Souness. So there's an example of one person who is at the top of his game, but he wasn't, you know, at the top of the footballing tree.
Mm. You know, he credits you on his wiki. Did you know that?
Does he?
On Robbie Mustoe's Wikipedia. If you ever Wikipedia him, right? We were doing this the other week, and Robbie Mustoe, it's like how he came to be in the US and all that says, and it's something like he was invited to ESPN by former Borough commentator Dave Roberts, and credits him to the success they've now staying around in the ESPN in America. You're credited on his wiki.
Yeah, Dave's edited that.
You got Wikipedia people working for you. Very smart.
We were all thinking it, and Steve just went there.
My empire's growing, but it's not that big, mate. Yes. I don't have wiki editors, I promise.
Yes.
Tremendous stuff.
Do you have a wiki page, Steve? I don't even know.
No.
I'm going to look that up.
You can create it if you want, right?
I'm going to right now.
Or maybe it's got the guy who WhatsApped in. Yeah.
No, let Ted.
I'm staying well away from all that. Not a chance.
Let's get Ted a wiki.
No,
100%.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. I'm just like living my little quiet life on my Med Island, mate. I don't want any of that. No,
there you go. Stu Gawley says, I watch Robbie every week. He does a great job. So there you go.
Oh, there you go.
He's very intelligent.
I'll have to tune into ESPN. I wasn't aware of that.
Well, he's now at NBC. He moved. See, within the media industry, he got a transfer. So ESPN I think they lost the Premier League deal. NBC took it over. NBC took Robbie Mustoe and Robbie Earle, the two Robbies from ESPN.
Huge network, that NBC.
Yeah,
big one. Yep.
Very good. Right. Speaking of big ones, we'll have a little break. And then we'll come back and we've got more. What the fact? We're going to talk.
Hang on.
Talk Sven.
Speaking of big ones, we'll have a little one.
Yeah.
What sort of England is that?
Broken Britain.
All right then. Let's have a little big one then.
Together across the northeast.
The Toon Black Cat and the Red.
And welcome back. Shall we have another round of What the Fact?
Woohoo!
What's the consensus?
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Go on. Let's do it.
Bowled over by Steve's enthusiasm.
Managed by committee is this show.
He doesn't like quizzes. Doesn't like quizzes. That's a Wikipedia now, though. Bryce started it.
I dread to think what you write. Anyway, so it's What the Fact. It's an interesting fact about football. You've had clue number one, which was the answer has sex appeal. Clue number two. That was pretty rapid, but not Vienna. Ooh. That was pretty rapid, but not Vienna. So the answer
Quickest goal at the weekend was against Martin Dubravka. Anything to do with that?
Quickest goal at the weekend was against Martin Dubravka.
Anything to do with that?
Just go home, Steve, will you?
Has he got it?
Has he got it?
No way!
Yes. I hate you. Do you know what? You read it in your headlines and I went, oh, this is risky.
Fantastic.
I was just about to say Steve Ray.
Stevie lad. Well done.
He's pulled his boots back on. He's stuck another in the top corner.
Oh, God. Daz must have something here in his jingles. Where's Daz's
I'm just writing in his Wikipedia, quiz extraordinaire, Steve Ray.
Oh, hang on, here we go. Actor, podcaster, YouTuber, radio host, TV pundit.
Quiz extraordinaire.
Centre-back extraordinaire, quiz extraordinaire. Yeah. We're adding to that list. Can I be your agent, Steve? Can I be your agent?
What do they call him on the chase? On the chase, the experts or whatever, the guys that come out the top? He's one of them now.
Absolutely.
What a classic.
Do you know what I'm really annoyed about is the fact I was sat on the couch last night going, I best pull some material together for the show. And I turned out to Mrs. Ted and I went, I'm going to use this fact because they'll never ever suspect me using something so recent. And then Steve goes and reads it out in his headlines and I'm going, I'm going to have to change the clues. Do you want the clues that I was going to give you?
Yeah, go on.
Go on.
The answer has sex appeal, sex being Austrian or German for six, as in 6 seconds. That was pretty rapid, but not in Vienna. Was obviously because it was rapid, but it wasn't Austria at home. Okay. They were away. I bet Martin is smarting because obviously Dubravka was the one who conceded.
Well done.
When you said that in your headline, Steve, my heart sank.
I bet it did.
I had a feeling it was going to happen.
It's all being ruined.
I never thought in a million years you'd go international with your headlines.
Well, there you go. Excellent. I think it's...
And the last one...
Yeah.
The last one was this fact has barely had time to take its seat, obviously because it was scored.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Steve. Brilliant.
There you go. Daz's jingles are out.
I'm well annoyed. Daz's jingles
so proud of you.
I'm playing with Daz's jingles. Oh, there's another one. We're getting shut down.
You did say you got loose fingers this morning, so come on.
There you go. Bit more of that. There you go. Yeah. Okay.
Well done.
I don't know what to say.
You got nothing now, do you?
That's it. Daz will be next with the mid-morning show. That's it.
My flabber has been gusted.
Steve's taking the mantle. Yeah. I thought I was, sitting up there high-ranked in cracking what the fact, but Steve has just blown me out of the water.
Well, I'm glad you went out of the water after that.
Still here, quizzes.
It was the wrong time to take a swallow, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh dear God! That's 2 out of the last 3 where Steve's got them in 2 clues.
Wow!
And we say Daniil's the man for what the fact. I think Steve's playing this down a little bit.
He's taking it.
Absolutely.
Daniil's been displaced at the top as well. Yep.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Daniil.
Absolutely. Well done, mate. Well done.
Enjoyed it.
I'll take my hat off to you. I was absolutely distraught when you mentioned it in your headline.
Well done.
There you go.
Well done.
No, well done, mate. Well done. Anyway, moving on. Roving Rye.
Yes.
Mr. Rye. We have been enjoying. I took a little bit more time. I did some listening over the weekend, lads. I listened to Steve's interview, which was really
fantastic.
Good. Very insightful.
It was really good.
Cheers, guys.
I was excellent. And Andy said nice things about me, which meant he actually got a text message, which apparently he hasn't got me on mute. But there you go. I was quite surprised.
Straight into his DM.
No, I haven't got you guys on mute. I've got the actual group on mute.
Just the group chat. See.
Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah.
All right.
So
not just ours either. I've got all of them on mute because it's ridiculous the amount of groups that I'm in. I've got to mute them all, and I'll just dip in when I can.
There's only one that isn't muted on mine, and that's me 3 amigos one. That's me and my 2 best mates, which is usually it's the one I should mute because half the time you're kind of thinking when you see it's an image that's been sent, you dare not open it, and especially not on work's Wi-Fi.
Not at work.
Honestly. It's 2 lads where you know that anything they send, you're going to start with a look over your shoulder. We've all got mates like that.
We do.
But Roving Rye, I did catch up with some of your content over the weekend as well, mate. Very impressive. I tell you what, for all your good fun and you've always good entertainment value, some very professional stuff on there. I was very impressed, mate. Yeah, it was really good. Very enjoyable stuff. And, What's the booking? Rye's really good.
This is some real sort of, man loving, isn't it? Manly loving between the team this morning.
There's nothing wrong with that.
He's gone and blown me out of the water. It's incredible. It's like,
I can see what you did there.
Please don't do this on my show.
Please don't do this on my station.
Yeah, so you've got a lot more to lose. No, I want to know anyway. What your highlight of the international break was so far, mate, and what have you got in store for us for the second Aussie game? Because obviously that's coming tonight.
Tomorrow. No, tomorrow for me. So we were talking. We had a fantastic time in Sydney. Obviously, I took the whole family up. We spent a couple of days there, and that was just incredible for me. Finally being able to meet Riley McGree, especially because I was saying this today. We had a bit of a chat about what was to come today and tomorrow, but I have a relationship there with Riley and have done ever since I did the interview for the Borough with him, in terms of like we text, through Instagram and all that sort of stuff. So finally being able to meet who I would consider actually a mate, and I'm not trying to be sarcastic here because we talk a lot ever since then, and finally being able to meet him was just absolutely fantastic. And then obviously Sammy and Tom, I don't really have a relationship with them at the moment because it's still new and they don't really know me. They probably think I'm that loudmouth Aussie sort of thing. And so meeting them was absolutely fantastic because one, I got to announce them coming to the Borough, but also just, because they're Borough players that I absolutely love sort of thing. But to meet Riley was just an absolute dream come true. And to, we were talking about each other's families and he was asking about mine because, we talk all the time, and I was asking about his, his partner and dog and all that sort of stuff. And it was just literally like two mates catching up. And I just can't express to you how, incredible it was just to I walked, it was about 1 kilometre from his dressing room to the bus, and we just walked side by side. We just chatted all the way back, and it was just absolutely fantastic. So to meet him was obviously the highlight. And then to chat with Tom and Sammy as well was absolutely fantastic. To get away as well. I was saying I took my wife and my kids away as well because we haven't been away because we moved house over Christmas. We didn't get a sort of a Christmas holiday, if you will. So we took the chance to have a bit of a break, and it was absolutely fantastic and a bit stressful, obviously having two kids and a baby in a hotel room, but it was still a very, very good time. And we got to go to the zoo as well, took the girls to the zoo and stuff like that. So absolutely loved it.
I've seen that with the kangaroos,
Yeah, exactly. I tried to play it off. That was my backyard. That was it. Look, the what's to come. Obviously, the Socceroos are now in town. They're in my backyard here in Canberra. They arrived yesterday. They've got training, which I haven't attended tonight because I chose to be on the radio tonight properly in my studio because I wanted to be back in proper and do a full show. Before tomorrow, obviously, I will be live once again from the Socceroos ground because I have to be there just before the show starts in the morning. And then I'll be there right through, obviously, the show as well. So, looking forward to that. I've got a Tommy Glover interview promised afterwards. I'm also trying to line up Harry Suter. Obviously, he's the centre-back for Leicester City. And ask him why Borough have beaten them twice as well. And I'm not sure. Rene Mullenstein was a lineup as well, but he has been unwell and hasn't been sort of seen at the moment. I know he's around. It's just not sure if he's available sort of for a chat. But devastated that Riley went back. He was my inside man. He was the guy I was messaging to get that invite to the hotel room and all that sort of stuff. But he's obviously headed back to Borough now for treatment. So I've got still Sammy Silvera, Tom Glover here that I'm looking forward to catching up with tomorrow. Hopefully to have another chat before. I think they fly out literally Wednesday morning, silly o'clock, because we've got Southampton on the weekend, and both of them you would expect would either be on the bench or involved.
On Friday.
Is it? Yeah, it's a short turnaround. Yeah. So they're literally on the next plane out of Canberra. Their game will finish about 9:30 p.m. our time, and I dare say their plane out of here will be 4 a.m., 5 a.m. the next morning. So it's absolutely crazy, the scheduling for this one. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I've absolutely loved it. I just can't tell you how excited and impressed I've been with all three lads. But meeting Riley, honestly, was a dream come true. And I wish I had a chance to get a photo. I felt inappropriate asking for one, though, because he was in a moon boot and stuff like that. And he was a bit cautious of, obviously, me revealing too much to the media, but it was fantastic, and I'll honestly, a moment I'll never forget.
There's that balance again. You see, we're talking about the players as pundits. There's your balance, right? You've got it because, you can have conversations with these players and it's a trust situation. Some of the stuff that they'll be talking about. So, that's your balance that you've got to, what can I use? Because he knows I'm on the radio, exactly. I do the breakfast show. What can't I use? Because then he won't be able to trust me if exactly. So it's that. And it was the same with me when I was the Borough commentator, when I was doing Sky in the Northeast. You do build up these relationships and you can't reveal all. Yeah. You just can't reveal all. And the fans will do you for that if they get a sniff of you not revealing all. You know what the social media keyboard warriors are like this day and age. Tell us, you must know. I mean, you get it in the neck if one of the Aussies doesn't play well.
Exactly. I get 1,000 DMs of why, he's absolutely terrible. Why did I bring him over and stuff like that? And you're absolutely right. And I think part of it was that I felt there was a strange sort of sensation when I met Sammy and Tom because I don't know them, but I felt almost maybe too familiar with them because I announced them for the club. It was a weird sort of sensation where I was like, well, I'd love to have a relationship with these guys in terms of a mateship like I've got with Riley, but they don't know me from a bar of soap. And they're probably in the back of their head sitting there going, well, what's this guy going to do? I know he's on the YouTube, he's loud. Is he going to make fun of me or whatever? Do you know what I mean? Are we going to be here for a gag or are we going to be here for a serious chat? And I hope that this is just the first time I've met Sammy and Tom that I'm meeting them and continuing now to talk to them and stuff like that. Some of those sort of, some of that sort of working relationship sort of stuff can be understood because, it was great to chat to Sammy. We had a really good chat. We had a bit of jokes in there and stuff like that. But we're still trying to, I think he was erring on the side of what's this, kid going to be like. And I'm also a 36-year-old talking to a 22-year-old. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit different for me as well, going back to Sammy, where Riley's, only 20, he's 28, but he's a bit closer in age sort of thing. So, it was different. It was exciting. It's something I've never done before. And there was something that I really, really cherished. And look, if anything from these past couple of things, moving forward with the radio and obviously we've got Newcastle and Tottenham coming and stuff like that, it's taught me a lot about working relationships with media and accreditations and where to go, where not to go, what to say, what not to say, and and just being professional but still being able to have a laugh, I guess you could say.
See, for me, I mean that's like a hark back to the good old days. Many years ago, I worked in sales for the Sunderland Echo, and we had Graham Anderson, who was the chief football writer there, and a lovely lad called Ian Laws, who sadly passed away, I think, around about 2010. Great lad. But they had personal relationships with the team. But the players in the squad also knew, like, sort of what would make it to the paper and what wouldn't make it to the paper.
Exactly.
And you could have an honest conversation and know that, the writer or the journalist themselves wasn't going to take the mick. And I think you're actually kind of almost why you're going to be a little bit of a renegade on this one, mate, is because of that personal nature. And there's no, like, sort of ulterior motive there. And I think that's quite refreshing because, I mean, Dave, you've and Steve as well, you've both been around long enough now to see that even in local press, the amount of sniping that goes on is absolutely incredible. But it's just nice to see that a return like to the glory days of, let's have a chat. Is this off the record? Yeah, it's off the record, and it's going to be. And Dave, I think that's quite refreshing, isn't it?
It is, but that's how all journals work. No, that's how all journals work. I mean, there's lots of stories that, I've been in places, attended events, been invited into back rooms, out of the public eye, and the score. You get invited there because,
like a swingers club.
Because that's not what I've been to.
All right,
because there is an element of trust there, and you only build that trust up over a period of time. There's absolutely no way a football manager will take you into their trust. On day one, exactly. You turn up wet behind the ears, doesn't know who you are, but then eventually you do build a bit of a rapport. Like Peter Reid, we've had him on this show, friend of the Breakfast Show. The working relationship I had with Reedy when he was at Sunderland was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And I could go to him and say, "Look, mate, I'm hearing this," and he'd say, "Well, this, look, Dave, this is what's happening." But that's off the record, just so you have a full understanding. So you know what's going to come out. It's that sort of relationship, and all journos build or try to build those sort of relationships, and to do that, you've got to know what the game is. It's trust. it's almost protecting your source. I mean, a football manager being the source. You know, where you get the information from, if they take you into their confidence, you don't blow that because they won't talk to you the next day.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. No, well done, mate. You're taking your first steps
really
into being an absolute roving reporter. I'm loving the work.
It was love. It was honestly loved it.
Steve's going under the spotlight after the news, lads.
Dun, dun, do I need to get the master? Millionaire. Shall I get some Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music on hand?
Need to get a solicitor.
Well, I mean, you know, there was a source. It came out. You shouldn't judge players by YouTube videos, but I was impressed by what I saw with this young wraith at centre back.
I know.
A relative unknown newcomer, a young lad, and he's got a big future. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about players you'd bring out of retirement. But first, we're going to have some news. We're going to have some weather, and then we'll have some headlines after that.
From Yarm to Yibby, Harrington to Horsley Hill, Swarwell to Silverlink, the North East Footy Breakfast with Roy, Steve, and Ted.
Right across the North East, the Red, the Toon, and the Cat.
Beat a bit of light petty on morning. Thomas,
fantastic.
I won't back down. Oh, you like that one, Ted? Sometimes you disapprove.
Love it.
Yeah, it's a classic.
No, mate, I absolutely love Tom Petty. Yeah. Interesting fact, before Dave Grohl went and formed Foo Fighters, he was offered the gig to be Tom Petty's drummer and nearly took it. So we almost didn't have the greatest rock band probably of the last 30 years. Wow. We nearly didn't have it at all. He almost took the gig. That was after obviously Nirvana disbanded, and he was offered the gig there. But still went and helped out Tom Petty now and again. I just love his stuff. But there you go. There's an interesting musical fact for the day. Might not be all that interesting to you, but there it's a fact.
No, I liked it. That was good. Yeah.
What the fact?
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Dave Grohl is one of the best musicians of our era.
You know things, do you, mate? You know things.
Some things. I know some things. Okay. Yes. Cool. I know it's time for the headlines.
It is. I'm just wondering, we're going to start with... we did Borough last time. You see, I've got to balance it out, otherwise people get shirty with me.
Magpies and proud. Mags News.
Newcastle United women fell to a crushing 2-1 defeat in the FA Women's National League Cup final at the hands of #UnitedWomen. An own goal in the opening stages had United ahead at Kenilworth Road, but goals either side of half-time from Macy Nichols and Phoebe Williams were enough to hand #the cup. Anthony Gordon became the 40th player to represent England since Matt Kingsley in 1901. His debut lasted 75 minutes at Wembley, and Gordon left the pitch with the scores level, but Hendrick scored a late winner for Brazil to leave some fans calling for Southgate to be sacked before the Euros. Martin Dubravka was also in international duty for Slovakia and conceded a goal after 6 seconds, reported by various media outlets as the quickest recorded international goal. And tickets for the Northumberland Senior Cup semi-final tie between Ashington and Newcastle under-21s next month are now on general sale. Prices £9 adults, £5 seniors and £3 for under-16s. The Colliers will host United at their Woodhorn Lane home on Tuesday, April the 9th, and it's a 7:30 kick-off. Capacity's been set at 1,500 and advance purchase is advised. That's your Newcastle headlines on Monday the 25th of March.
Mackems and proud. Black Cats News.
Good morning, Sunderland fans. Sunderland wonder kid Chris Rigg once again captained England's under-17s to victory this weekend. The 16-year-old netted a goal in England's 5-0 win over Hungary, with the under-17s unbeaten during their 2 games so far during the international break. Rigg also captained England's under-17 team to a 5-1 win over Northern Ireland earlier last week, a game in which the highly rated youngster bagged 2 assists. England are competing in UEFA Under-17 Euro Championship qualifying games and will come up against France after the wins against Northern Ireland and Hungary, with all of the games being played at St George's Park. Ian Hart, the agent of Sunderland man Jack Clark, provided an update on his client's transfer and contract situation as the lads headed into the international break. There was a clause in Jack's contract that if he played a certain amount of games, which he had back earlier in the season, then he was to be offered a new deal, Hart had said. There was an offer made, but it wasn't good enough. Every football club has its structures to work to, but when you have a player like Jack, sometimes structures have to be broken, and I don't think that is going to change, unfortunately. We, meaning myself and Jack, were happy to sign an additional deal at Sunderland, but I don't think they are willing to budge, unfortunately. I think they will, under the current structure they have, I don't think the offer will increase. And finally, Sunderland women's manager Melanie Ray said her side's resilience was the key in their thrilling 5-3 victory over Durham in the River Wear derby. The game was played out in front of a record attendance this season, with 1,477 fans being treated to a high-scoring, all-action game of football. Goals from Emily Scarr, Mary McAteer with 2, Jenna Deere and Katie Watson ensured Sunderland maintained their lead at the top of the table in the Women's Championship. There are your Sunderland headlines.
Smoggies and proud. Borough News.
Good morning, Borough fans. How are you this Monday morning? Middlesbrough youngster Josh Coburn has been backed to have a great future by a man who has seen him blossom on Teesside himself. Matt Crooks may be plying his trade halfway around the world with Real Salt Lake City in the United States, but the 30-year-old still follows his old club. Brooks feels Coburn has the right attributes to succeed, and he also revealed perhaps an underrated aspect or a non-well-known fact that not common against all tall strikers. Coburn stands 6'3", but Crooks says he's one of the fastest players at the club. Crooks told the Borough Breakdown podcast, "I think it's Izzy, Alex Bangura, and then Josh as our 1, 2, 3 fastest players at the club currently. I think off the top of my head in terms of that with sprinting speed. And I knew I would get a strange look saying that. Well, Joshy, get in, you little Isaac Bolt, you." And Michael Carrick has described himself as excited to see what the future holds for Middlesbrough prospect Sammy Silvera after a mixed first season at the club. It's probably thanks to the amount of injuries Borough have had this year that Sammy has been thrown into the deep end at times, deployed in multiple positions, including that of a striker. A lot has been asked of Sammy in his first season, while Sammy himself revealed to myself and the Red last week he's looking to lock down a first-team place in the near future. Expressing his faith in the young Aussie, Michael Carrick has spoken about Sammy, saying, "I'm excited by Sammy. It was a huge step for him to come over to the summer. The intensity in this league in comparison to what he's been used to is a massive, massive change. But he's dealt with it really well. He's got huge talent and he's a real dangerous player. I'm excited to what he can bring to the future." And Middlesbrough women got a 3-0 win yesterday against Chorley Town. It was a fantastic effort, and Wareham, the goalkeeper, was absolutely in fine style, saving 6 shots to none. That is your Borough headlines.
Right across the northeast, the Red, the Cat and the Tune.
What's up?
Let's have it.
Jack in Leicester. Morning, lads. I hope you had a great weekend.
Morning, Jack.
Sorry I missed the first 43 minutes of the show. Are we not playing What the Fact today? Wait, I can see that can of worms that have just been opened.
It's a can of whoop-ass, mate.
Is that some Greek Cypriot dish?
It does sound like whoop-ass.
It does
sound a little bit Greek.
It does.
Who's going
I'll
to
give you that.
Who's going to tell Jack the truth? Who's going to tell Jack the truth?
I think he's
Steve?
on the wind-up.
You think so?
You reckon he knows?
I solved it within 2, mate. I solved it within 2 questions.
The man Wraith pounced like a jaguar and
he did.
basically grabbed what the fact by the scruff of the neck, and that was it. Gone, done, dusted.
Yep, done.
I am going to have to make this much more difficult.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, God.
On the moon.
Wow. If we were to play in Mars in 30 years' time, who would the goalkeeper be for the San Marino football team?
I don't know, but the defender would be Mark Venus.
Yeah, well done.
Well done. What I did there.
Very good.
That was very good. Teddy, before you move on, your headlines. Can I just confirm Jack Clark has been offered a new deal by Sunderland, but it was turned down? Is that correct?
Yes.
And
that's according to his agent, yeah.
And they're saying that the money was nowhere near what they feel he's worth?
Yeah, so obviously they have a structure which is to spend nothing.
Of course.
Apparently. So yeah, they'd made an offer that Ian Hart, in other circles, it apparently said it was derisory. It just wasn't anywhere near enough. I mean, for me, if that's the case and they've got a chance to keep Jack Clark by offering a better contract and give us every chance of mounting some sort of challenge next season, they need to break the structure. Bradley Dack is our highest earner at the club. The guy who spends more time on loose women than he does at the Stadium of Light.
Yeah, yeah.
It absolutely beggars belief.
So you reckon break the bank to get Jack Clark to stay?
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. If he wants to stay, and his agent is making the noises saying we're happy for him to sign an extension, but they're going to have to break the structure a little bit. Jack Clark's had a bit of a turbulent time of it in his past. He went for a lot of money to Spurs. He didn't ever settle there. Couple of loan spells here and there. And it's a bit like sort of a slightly younger version of Paddy Roberts. It just kind of like you just need somewhere to call home and settle in and bed in somewhere and develop as a person and as a player as well. And that's what he's done at Sunderland. And clearly the lad wants to stay. It's the money. And being offered like sort of somewhere between 15 and 17 grand for somebody who's knocked in 15 goals from the left wing and about 3 or 4 assists. You need to be kind of looking a bit bigger than that and building a side around somebody like Jack Clark rather than just kind of sell him off, which,
I think it's good signs, though, from your club that they're not... I mean, for me, because what we've been talking about this for a while, from my understanding of what you were thinking and what I guess we were all thinking was that Sunderland were banking on Jack Clark to be their transfer window cash fund. Does that make sense? Like they were they were banking on selling him to bring as much money as they could. But to hear that they've offered him a deal, albeit nowhere near where they think. Again, I mean, that gives me some optimism that the club knows and they're trying to do the right thing, even though it's nowhere near what Jack Clark's probably worth. But do you think there's an understanding there from some Sunderland forwards that maybe suddenly can't afford what Jack Clark's actually worth now?
Yeah, but when you've got a player like Bradley Dack on your books,
I get it.
You know, if you offer that wage on top of what Jack Clark's getting now, he's probably going to stay.
Okay.
And I just don't see the value in having, the walking hairpiece that is Bradley Dack, that brings nothing to the team, that barely plays a game of football, and we hear more from his missus than we do from Bradley Dack.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing, and for me, don't be fooled by this. I wasn't going to talk about Sunderland Football Club today.
I'm sorry.
Ruined me.
I'm sorry.
Now.
I know. I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry. Let me go.
But listen, this don't be fooled. This is a clause that's been triggered, mate. So he's played a certain amount of games. On him playing that, they have to offer that new deal because that was what was in the contract.
Yeah.
So
gotcha.
So you're on. I don't know. Let's pick a figure out the air. You're on 12 grand now, Jack. We'll give you 12.5.
Yeah.
That's all they have to do just to fulfil their contractual obligation.
Okay,
they don't have to make it a good offer.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how this plays out because, I mean, a few of the Sunderland fans are kind of having a go at Ian Hart about this, who actually did play for us for a little spell as well. He's actually been quite transparent about the contract dealings with this.
Yeah.
He's not been kind of like the underhand, sinister agent that many people like to paint these agents to be, and I'm sure some of them are. But at the same time, I find it really interesting that Hart has gone public that we're happy for him to stay. We want him to stay, but you're gonna have to break that structure a little bit and grease the palms a little bit, which you kind of understand. Jack Clark is up there, certainly within the top 3 players in the championship. There's no denying that. The kid is a fantastic championship player. He absolutely tortures players. So look, they've got to have a rethink of this. If Jack Clark wants to stay at Sunderland, and as long as they're not talking stupid money, because you can't. Sunderland aren't in a position to pay 40 grand, 50 grand a week.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, breaking the bank.
We're not going to do a West Brom. We're not going to do a Hull. That's clear. We're not going to risk everything on the off chance of getting promotion. That would be silly to do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, such a key player for the club probably deserves a little bit more respect in terms of what we offer. Look, what do you replace him with? You're going to sell him for 20 million. What are you going to get? 2 decent players out of that at championship level?
Yeah.
At best.
And Bradley Dack's out of contract this end of this season, though, right? So his wage is there come this summer, correct?
Yes, it should be.
So it could be there could be a position where Sunderland could have offered Bradley Dack. So they could say, right, we got a new deal for you in the summer. We're going to use some of this money from Bradley Dack leaving, and this is what we. But instead, they've put forward from what sounds like a derisory offer of what they can afford right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, this new PA system won't pay for itself, right?
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, sorry to tangent. I just found it really interesting that he'd been offered a new deal, and that they were when I thought they were kind of banking him to be their cash cow for the summer. So
yeah, it's purely, like I say, purely contractual. I don't expect Sunderland probably to even go back to him with a better offer. But they've got their way. I'm never going to get invited round to the Speakmans for Christmas. Like it's just so arrogant and so set in their ways of doing this. It's worth breaking the bank for somebody like Jack Clark to stay, especially when him and his agent are happy for the player to stay. But the level of arrogance just stinks to high heaven. And it's not going to happen, unfortunately, by the looks of things.
Nor will you be ever invited around to tea to the salmon-trousered Metvans either.
No. Apparently that'll be off. The Henley Regatta will have to wait for another year, I'm sure.
Yes. Unfortunately,
should we have a little break and then come back to it with a much more nice, positive frame of mind?
What? Like Steve in football shorts.
Yes, that's what the people want to hear.
Yes.
What did Steve Wraith's legs look like? We'll find out next. Across the Northeast.
From Wickham to Whitley Bay, Stonygate to Shields, Doggy to Darlow Backlane, Steve, Ted and Rye, the Northeast Footy Breakfast.
Right across the Northeast, the Red, the Toon and the Cat.
Can I have a rant?
Oh,
Go on.
Right.
Go for it.
Okay.
Floor is yours.
I've had probably about the fourth message like this now. I'm selling my motor, right? I'm selling it. I've took the dangerous step to go and sell it on Facebook Marketplace. And
oh no.
That place, you know the Star Wars bar, the Cantina in Mos Eisley. Steve will know exactly what I mean by this because he's a sci-fi nerd like me as well. I think Facebook Marketplace is basically Mos Eisley Cantina, but on an internet version of it. The questions you get from these people is absolutely incredible.
Does it have a steering wheel?
I've taken the time out of I've stuck 12 photographs on there, mate. I covered every single angle of this car that I can possibly cover. All of the information's there. Obviously, the prices there, all that kind of thing. How much for car?
Oh my goodness me! Oh my goodness me! That is
now I'm a patient person. I have to be very patient at work because I'm dealing with people. You know, there's over 200 staff.
Are you in a managerial position, my friend?
I am. Yes, I am. Okay. And I try my best to be very patient. I try and look for nice resolutions to things. But when you get messages like that, I can't come up with a nice way of saying really. Yeah, it just absolutely rips my knitting. I can't stand the level of stupidity on these things. But anyway, get this. When I was moving to Cyprus... sorry, I'm going on a rant here. I'm really going off the piste. I'm sorry.
Gave you the floor. We gave you the floor.
We sat you in the couch. We sat you on the couch, mate.
We did.
It out. Come on, get it out.
I told you, this is a safe space between mates. Nobody else is listening. It's just you and me.
That's it.
Talk to me about Alan Shearer, the love you have for him, and why he was your best man at the wedding. Go.
And of course, why it has now spread.
You're doing nothing for my temper.
And why that love of Shearer has now spread to selling a car issue. Yeah,
exactly.
That's it. Yes.
Go on.
So,
safe space.
Back when I was living in the UK, I lived in Durham, and I was selling quite a lot of my stuff before I moved over here. And one of the things I had was a decorative but functioning didgeridoo. It was quite some size as well. It was about like sort of 3 foot long, something like that. It was a decent spec of didgeridoo. So I was selling it on Facebook Marketplace, and I mean, it wasn't a lot of money. It was like, I don't know, 25, 30 quid, something like that. Exactly. Yes.
Yes.
I was trying to sell it now. Wow.
This is me playing, by the way.
Rather than me get offered money for it, a guy offered me a swap for a skateboard. And I still remember his name. I know he lived in the downhill area of Sunderland. And if you are listening, you're an idiot. But there you go. I feel much better for that. Honestly, I do. I feel like I needed to get that off my chest anyway. Thank you, lads. Thanks.
That's been holding you back for years, honestly.
Stop playing now, Right, you can stop playing now, mate.
Sorry, hang on. Sorry.
There you go.
Jeez, once you get on a roll with those things.
Do you want another musical fact before we move on to Steve's legs? Right. Before we move on to Steve's legs, do you know how you play the didgeridoo? It's actually, you don't breathe. Or you don't breathe as such, not in a normal way. You do what's known as circular breathing. So you obviously blow through, you kind of buzz in your lips.
Yeah.
You know, like...
It's like a spitting technique, isn't it? Because I've had a go,
exactly.
I never got a noise out of it.
Boys.
Yeah?
Oh? I can play the didgeridoo as well.
No, you can't.
I can. I've got a didgeridoo. I can play it. There you go.
Can't.
How?
There's no way.
When you hear me playing it, you'll be going, wow.
Can you really?
Genuinely, look, my whole family are now Aussie citizens because the kids took their citizenship over the last couple of years.
Yes,
so we've got a didgeridoo in the house and I can play it. Genuinely.
Wow.
I'm actually impressed. I'm
dedicating the next show to you proving that. When's our next show? Wednesday.
I have to dig it out now. I'm under pressure.
I want a didgeridoo live sesh with you, Sir Dave, Wednesday morning.
Oh, you just reminded me, fellas. It's up to you. It's all your shout. We've been approached by a band saying, can we come in on the breakfast show and do a live session in the studio?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love that.
Go on.
Oh, yeah, do it.
Yeah?
Go on. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I'd love that.
Cool.
Can I play drums?
Which band?
The Rodneys. Young band out the Teesside.
Yeah, get them on.
I saw a clip of them over the weekend. Did you send it?
No, I didn't. No.
I've seen a clip of the Rodneys over the weekend, and I actually really like them. They're very, very good. I might have been Daz. Might have been Daz.
Might have been Daz. But yeah, they've genuinely asked can they come in on the breakfast show and do a live session on the breakfast show.
That's
absolutely well up for that.
I've seen that because that's Daz. Doesn't Daz manage them?
How high is your voice gone?
I know, because I got excited because I was involved. I knew what was going on. See how excited I got?
Sat on something.
I felt involved. Doesn't Daz have like a production sort of system?
He does help them. Yes, he does help them.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it was the lads. It was the lads. They were in the office. It was the lads who came over and just said, is there any chance we can do this? And it's like, let's go for it. I'll talk to the lads, but let's go for it.
Great idea, that.
Yeah.
Live
good
music.
Love that. Live sessions. Tell you what, Joe Wiley better watch out.
Yes.
Who is she? Yeah. Anyway, enough guff about that. I want to talk to Steve now. Because as we've alluded to, there was footage came out over the weekend on social media of a superb
sounds bad.
No, it was really good.
Honestly, I thought it was Yapstam at first. On first glance, there was the great movement, tracking the run, played the ball 100%. Before the man. I was really impressed, Steve. But you had a charity game, didn't you, mate? And on a serious note, I want to hear a little bit about what you were doing, why the charity match was taking part, mate. So the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a young guy called Wilf and his dad called Alan who go under the name on X, Bruno's Magic Hat and the Tonali, and they basically over the last couple of years have made a thing of meeting up with former players and current players and getting things signed and then just basically raffling them off for charity. They've attached themselves to the food bank, the NUFC food bank, and they've been raising quite a bit of money for them over this period. They decided that they would organise a football match. We see a lot of negativity on X, between fans, falling out over formations, managers, players, etc. So it was great to be invited by the pair to Newcastle United's foundation. To play alongside some other YouTubers, some of the guys from the Magpie channel, Adam Pearson, Geordie Joss, Charlie Talks Football. There was Baz from Black and White Eyes. So there was a good mix of us, and we were up against Wilf and his dad and just their team basically, and it was a 8-a-side game. It was competitive. It was a good laugh. We got the weather for it, and anyone who hasn't been to Newcastle United's foundation, it's a wonderful setup. It's available, for the community. Newcastle United Foundation do a hell of a lot of work there, and they've got the pitch on the roof at the foundation, and it's state of the art 4G. It's like a carpet to play on, and it was just fantastic. Really good day. We played an hour, roll on, roll off subs. So I haven't played football for 15 years. I hung my boots up when I was 37. I hadn't had any injuries as many would have had. When I was 18, I think I did my sciatic nerve in playing on a hard pitch with metal studs. But other than that, I had an injury-free, Sunday, Saturday career, and it was it was just a decision I made. I wasn't quick to start with, but as I was getting older, I was getting heavier and getting slower, and I just thought, I'm going to call it a day, and I did. And I've literally walked onto a football pitch once at the end of the Pavel Cup that we used to organise before lockdown, to take a penalty. Other than that, I have just not played football because it's just, I just thought I'm just taking a risk doing it. But because this was for the food bank, a charity which I've supported, massively especially over lockdown, we raised probably in the region of 40 grand for the food bank just doing T-shirts on NUFC Matters podcast. We had, we've got a big affinity to that. But to be asked to go along and play in a game like this, it was a no-brainer. And I went along with my pal Dave, who took a little bit of footage,
thanks,
which I'm pleased.
Yeah, well done.
Dave Beanie, I'll give him a shout out. He came along and he filmed a bit. I mean, obviously all the lads are YouTubers anyway, so there's plenty of footage probably flying around out there. But it was a good laugh. It was good fun. Everybody had a great time, and the fundraising took part on one of those Just Giving pages. So I believe the total that Wilf and his dad were aiming for was £500. Thankfully, they've completely surpassed that. It's currently standing now. It's £770. So
that's well done.
The Just Giving page is up there. It's on Twitter. I've retweeted it a couple of times. I've stuck it onto my Facebook as well. So if you follow us on social media, see if you can drop a little extra in. But yeah, I mean, a target of £500 has been well surpassed. £770 going to the food bank. So it made it well worthwhile doing.
Good effort, everyone.
Yeah, well done, Steve.
Very well done, mate.
Steve, can I ask a serious question as well, mate?
Yeah.
Just while we got you, I just want to be serious. Has Newcastle reached out for you to be Sven Botman's replacement?
I'm disappointed to say they haven't, but
no. All right. Newcastle, you are missing a beat. This man blocks everything. I tell you, there wouldn't have been a need for the Great Wall of China if Steve Wraith was playing football back then. This man.
Yeah, it goes by the name of Zap Stamina on the pitch.
we had a great time, and I mean, that's my natural position, playing centre half, playing at the back, and it's easy. And I did my little cameo up front, and I've got to be honest, the service wasn't great by then. Everyone was starting to flag.
Everybody else's fault. Yeah, everybody.
I never managed to get a goal.
He's blaming everyone else. Classic.
He's like that goalkeeper. He's like that goalkeeper that concedes, and looks at everybody and limps away, puts on the limp. Yeah, absolutely. What's up?
Let's have the WhatsApp.
Al's from the Ionian Islands says, "Can you ask Ted if the three wheels on his car are in good condition?"
They are indeed. Yeah, it makes sense. Have you ever been in a Robin Reliant? It's a most weird feeling.
I've seen Jeremy Clarkson try to drive one. That was hilarious. Absolutely, that episode was hilarious. He just kept turning it over when he was going round corners. It was fantastic.
Love that.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's a very, very odd feeling. I was in one when I was a kid. So obviously quite a long time ago now, but it almost feels like you're on a boat. It doesn't feel like a car at all. It's absolutely horrible, to be honest with you. But yes, if Al's wants to put an offer in, I'm sure we can get it onto a ferry and get it over to the Ionian Islands. That's no problem at all. He's, just inbox the show, lad.
Fellas, can I just? I'm desperate to get this out. Do you mind me whipping it out on the breakfast show?
Me?
I mean, this is indeed, indeed.
You know what? We're on radio, so whip whatever you want out. I'm sitting here. Go nuts.
Well, I'm going to the US next week, and I was just sorting out all me booking seats and paying extra, and annoying myself over the weekend and all that sort of stuff. Like, why can't I just reserve a seat for free? And I got some notes about my baggage allowance, and in here it says you can take stun guns, shocking devices in checked bags if transported in a manner that renders the device inoperable from accidental discharge. You can also travel with firearms. These include handguns, rifles, shotguns and ammunition, as long as they're declared at check-in. You can travel with up to £11 of small arms ammunition for sporting purposes, as long as it's in your checked bags and it's been securely packaged in the original manufacturer's packaging. I mean, this just fills me full of confidence that I could be on a plane, and yes, most of this will be in, hopefully all of this will be in checked-in baggage, but there's somebody's, semi-automatic rifle with 11 pounds of ammunition sitting there. I think I'll grab my bags on the old baggage carousel and leg it as fast as I can, I'm telling you. Bizarre.
That's just bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
The world we've come from, you'd think, you know what I mean? But anyway.
I guarantee there'll be some food item you'll not be able to take as well.
100%.
Because you might push that cream pie in someone's face. Yeah, that's it.
Someone will walk through with that semi-automatic rifle, and you'll walk through with your Palmo on the bun. They'll be like, "Get that man! He's got a Palmo!" And you'll be tackled in the middle of the airport, arrested, dragged away into the next room, and they'll be like, "Sir, why did you think bringing chicken into our country would be safe?" That's exactly right.
18 months in Guantanamo later.
And we never saw him again.
Let me out.
Never saw him again.
It's mad. I mean, I know this is quite contentious and a little bit political, but the whole gun thing over there, it's like, I have one to protect my property. Why is it a sniper rifle that you can take somebody's head clean off with a mile away then? It's not like... I'm sure you don't need that to protect...
Why are you walking around town doing your shopping with it strapped to your back? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Exactly. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? But there we go. It's we cater for all tastes. We'll not slate them too much, Dave, because you have got to go over there.
I've got to get in there.
Let's not anger any Americans before you even get there, because we'll be labelled liberals and all that sort of thing. So, yes. Yeah. When do you go?
We fly, it's a week on Wednesday we go.
I'm proper jealous because I want to do New York, and I'm kind of like...
we got a day in New York.
Obviously, I'm pushing towards 50 in the next 5 or so years.
But you don't look at mate.
Old bugger.
Oh, thank you very much. I look much older.
Come on.
I want to do coast to coast though. That's my big dream. I want to do coast to coast America. I want to start in New York and work my way over to the west.
Are you going to drive the A66, Route 66?
If I'm driving the A66, I've got lost, mate.
Get ready to get wet at the end. Yeah,
absolutely. Oh, Blackpool. I was expecting Area 51.
Slip of the tongue.
That Hollywood sign should be just around the corner, I swear.
What, County Durham? Next to Toronto.
Bish Vegas.
I'm in Toronto, lads, but I don't see a tower. Oh, you're in County Durham, mate. Yeah.
Beautiful. I'd be lucky to drive across either, but coast to coast America. That's the big dream.
Well, I'm actually going to. I'm going over there for a bit of business, but I'm also going to go. I'm tripping down. I've got to do it because I used to study astronomy. Steve, close your ears. It's close to geography, so you know what's happening next week, don't you? It's the great American eclipse.
No.
I'm dipping into Dallas for a day to go and see the total solar eclipse, which is it's going to turn day into night for about I think it's about 4.5 minutes. I'll be standing right on the centre line, watching everything go dark. You can do that every night at Teesside, can't you? Yeah,
that's true. That's it, especially if they run out of key and card meter. Right, should we have a short break? Then we can come back.
We can indeed.
From Yarm to Yibby, Harrington to Horsley Hill, Swarwell to Silverlink, the North East Footy Breakfast. With Roy, Steve and Ted.
Right across the northeast, the Red, the Toon and the Cat.
What's up? Jeff in Lanzarote. Jeff in Lanzarote, where it's all so warm, has just said, I'm interested in the car, if Ted can deliver.
Hey!
I can't deliver, but I can do lamb, chicken and fish.
See what he did there. Mate.
Love it.
Very food orientated today, isn't it?
Well, that's because there's no football to talk about. You can't discuss England and the word football in the same breath after that.
I'm back on the fasting thing as well, which is kind of like
I'm pretty stable. I'm pretty stable, mate. It's good.
Oh, see, I'm not. After that trip to the UK, it set me back big style.
Big slice, mate.
I'm back on the wagon. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what?
Far too many pink slices.
Do you know what, fellas? Just before you go on to your next subject, sorry, Ted, to be so rude.
That's all right,
but I'm just intrigued with with Jeff's WhatsApp. I'm just looking at his WhatsApp messages that he's been sending in over the last couple of days. Photographs of Cheddar crisps, tomato sauce flavour, but also chocolate flavour.
Yes, I remember.
Do you remember the chocolate flavour?
Yeah.
Gives a bag of Cheddar.
Yeah.
No.
Canny bag of Cheddar.
I don't know, wages.
Yeah, that's it. Pity doesn't know that lifts out of action. That was the ad, wasn't it?
That was it, yeah. Fantastic.
It was a brass band arrangement of Blade and Racers playing in the background.
McEwen's best Scotch adverts were good as well.
Oh. Did you ever... Right, here's the thing, because I got looked at weird, as I do quite a lot over here.
I understand that, yeah.
And I think this is probably a northeast thing more than any other. In fact, I don't think anybody else has ever heard of this. It's either called a pint of black and tan or
black and
pint
tan.
of half and half.
Mackie Black and Tan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, right, what do you constitute as a pint of black and tan?
Ooh.
Dave, you sounded as if you drank it.
Yeah, I did.
I got nodded.
But I used to drink, it was like a mix of black and tan because it was a Mackie Black and Tan, so wasn't that... I don't know what that... Do you know what? I don't know what
it's like
it is.
Stout
and pale ale.
I think it's a mix, yeah.
So
that's what a black and tan was. There's a way of pouring it as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Is there really?
It's like a cocktail. It's a beer cocktail, isn't it?
Never used to make it. Always used to drink it.
A proper working class cocktail, without a doubt.
That was before I left the working class. Ted. Before
you've got to layer. You layer like a pale ale, in a dark beer, which is usually stout, which you said. In Ireland, I think it's where it came from. It's called a half and half as well.
Right. See, now I vaguely recalled it from, like, you know, when you used to go at the pub before the match and things like that. Kind of like it was one of those expressions that used to come out. I was convinced it was Guinness and like a bitter, like a John Smith's, but I guess that's not a pale ale. So something more like a Bodies or something like that, a Boddingtons or a Lambtons, that kind of thing. Yeah.
I've found the mixing instructions.
If you do it, it looks a bit like a bee, doesn't it? It's like it looks like a orangey dark colour. It looks like a bee stripe. If you do it properly, it should have like a white head. It should be black, and then it should be the yellow at the bottom.
Absolutely spot on. A black and tan is a beer cocktail made by layering pale beer and dark beer. In Ireland, the drink is called half and half. Look, Steve, spot on. Preparation: fill a glass halfway with pale ale or lager, then add the stout. The top layer is best poured slowly over an upside-down tablespoon placed over the glass to avoid splashing and mixing the layers. You can imagine that happening in the Big Chute Social Club, can't you? It's really like, I'm just taking 10 minutes to pour this lad his beer. Yeah.
The Chute!
Definitely an Irish drink, lads.
Yeah,
it's definitely an Irish drink.
I mentioned it to a Yorkshireman, and he looked at me like I'd just landed. You know, it was just complete and utter confusion.
So what was a Mackie Black and Tan? Because I remember them calling it a mound. If there's something else,
Mackeson's is a stout.
It could be Mackeson's. Yeah,
Mackeson's.
It could be that. That's the stout, of course, that they use. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, I know that's gone completely off topic yet again.
No, it's fine.
Fine for this show, mate.
Oh, no, absolutely, yeah. It's not like we're struggling for content because it's International Week. On a slightly more serious note, because we have to cover something serious at this stage.
Okay. Before Daz comes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. The scenes at Anfield over the weekend.
Bacon butty, by the way, Daz. Bacon butty. I'm just giving him an idea. Sorry.
All right, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
he's just walked through the door. He didn't hear me.
Oh, shame. Anyway, yes, Anfield over the weekend, lads. The Liverpool 11, managed by Sven-Göran Eriksson, beat the Ajax 11. I think it was 4-2 it ended up. But, I mean, the scenes and the support that Sven got, and there was some really profound things that he came out with about, he was so happy that, you know, his achievements and his success at something that he was good at was being celebrated while he was still alive as well. It was quite some tear-jerking moments. I don't know whether you lads saw any of it, did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. It was it was emotional, definitely. But he looks different, doesn't he, as well? I mean, he's a completely different looking man, obviously. The illness and stuff like that, but my goodness, you know, I always remembered Sven as like that big stoic sort of don't know, like his Man City era sort of thing, even and it just shocks you, you know what I mean? And it just, how health can quickly creep up on you and just knock you around. But what an emotional time, what a beautiful moment as well for him. And even hearing his press conference afterwards, and he was, he's just
buzzing, wasn't he?
He's just buzzing. He's just so happy. Do you know what I mean? He's just so he's just saying how beautiful it was, and this is a man that probably could have landed this job, I don't know, 5-10 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Literally. And then, and to see him now come back in this way, and with the cancer and everything like that. I mean, he was always just this big presence for me on that sideline back in the day. And look, it was a beautiful moment, and I can't believe that Liverpool gave him the opportunity to do that. It's fantastic, and I absolutely love it. And for him, it's a moment he'll probably, he'll never forget, nor will his family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it was great gesture by Liverpool, lads. Great gesture.
Yeah. It was, mate. It was. I remember him being appointed England manager because he was our first foreign manager, wasn't he? He was. He kind of. I remember the press kind of, doing their usual thing in the UK of trying to trip him over a little bit, and who's the left back for Sunderland and all that sort of thing. One thing I did love about Sven-Göran Eriksson is it was him who gave Michael Gray his England debut. All
right, okay.
Did know who played left back for Sunderland ultimately as well. Is an absolute cracking manager in his day. Obviously managed Lazio as well. He had some big club jobs. I think the Man City one, he was there at the start of the money, or just about. I think that was in the go on, Dave, remind me of the previous owner's name.
Sorry, I was a mile away there doing some stuff, getting ready for the news. What are we talking? Taksin Shinawatra by any chance?
That's him. Yeah, Sven was back in them days. But I just thought an absolutely lovely touch over the weekend. The interviews were absolutely fantastic. It was lovely to see him smiling and absolutely buzzing to get the opportunity to manage it at Anfield. And the final word, though, for Fernando Torres. Honestly, he looked like the Torres of old. It's barely conceivable that this guy's retired from football. Yeah, he took his goals so well. He kind of had that little bit of that little bit of flair and that little bit of sort of eagerness to get in the box, and the sort of thing that you can't teach. That's all about experience. So, without and obviously circling back to Steve coming out of retirement as well. For the last couple of minutes, lads, if you could bring one player out of retirement to help your club right now, who are you picking? Rye, we'll go with you first.
Jeez. One player out of retirement to help my team right now. I tell you what, we could do with Mark Viduka up front. Just the Aussie workhorse, the bloke that battles them in, the poachers of all poachers. Yeah, I'd go the big Aussie Mark Viduka up front, and we get a couple of goals out of him. I think that's what our club could do with right now. A bit of a tough talisman up front. So, yeah, Mark Viduka for me.
Steve, I've got a funny feeling I know where you might go with this one, but go on.
Obviously. Gotta be Peter Beardsley, mate. Peter Beardsley, legend. He make a difference in any team. Newcastle United entertainers. He was the top man. I'm busy putting a book together with Will Scott at the moment about the entertainers, and Peter Beardsley is the man that every single player mentions as the player of that team. But just remember what he was like, not only for Liverpool, but also for England. He helped Gary Lineker get the goals in 86 and 1990, and got us to the World Cup semis with Gaza and the tears at Turin. So from my perspective, Peter Beardsley all day.
Fantastic. Daz, are you with us?
Yeah. Good morning, gents. How are we doing?
Good morning, Daz.
Are we agreeing on this one, Daz?
Good morning. Yeah. Me and Dave. I think there's only we took one glance at each other, and there was only one.
Ted's going to hit this song. He's going to hit this song. Ted's going to hit
like milk this.
Hey! Oh!
That MIDI keyboard's just doing all sorts of things for me.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Is everybody switched off by now?
Yeah.
I was hoping he was going to come in with a little fella's voice, because it comes in at some point.
You were assuming we made it to 8 o'clock.
Alright then. He's not going to talk, is he? He's not going to talk.
Yeah.
There he is.
I want to see me those bro win. I want to see me those bro win. I want to see me those bro win every weekend.
And we would do if he was back.
Yeah, I think that he would be the only choice, really.
Cracking player.
Yeah.
See, I've got a bit more less obvious with mine because everybody would probably think Kevin Phillips, but no. I think you need an absolute natural born leader. I would have Kevin Ball back in an absolute heartbeat in the middle of that.
That's a good shout.
Just
That's a very good shout.
Yeah,
great lad.
Top block goalie as well.
Yeah, great lad.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Nobody seems to have a bad word to say about him. I watched him on a podcast a couple of weeks back. He's just so funny and so insightful with his. I wish he was more involved with the club. I really do. He was an absolute legend.
I wouldn't like to have faced him, mate. Wouldn't like to have faced him.
No. Even Vinnie Jones.
Me against him would have been a tough battle, like.
Yeah.
By the way, good morning, Britain's poll this morning. Good morning, Britain's poll. Should celebrities apologise to the Princess of Wales for basically people commenting on what's been going on in the media? Obviously, the tragic news about Princess of Wales being diagnosed with cancer. Obviously, she's having chemotherapy, so wish her all the best. But 75% of celebrities should apologise. 25% say no. So
shouldn't the question be: should the press apologise?
That could be a completely separate one. Yeah. I think you're right.
Exactly.
I think you're right. Because if it wasn't,
should the press be shot?
Dave's definitely trying to get this radio station closed down.
He's not bothered, he's going on holiday.
I'm just getting used to the ammunition on the plane.
With his guns and God knows what else.
What do they call that body in America? The National Rifle Association. NRA. I'm going to go and join.
Good stuff.
I was going to say on that bombshell, but it's more of a
I saw what you did there.
More of a shell case. But there you go. Yeah. We made it, boys. We made it through Monday.
We did. Great.
Well done, Tedrick.
Well done.
Yes,
Roving Rye tomorrow, boys. I will see you live from the Socceroos camp here in GIO.
Okay.
Looking forward.
See you tomorrow, guys.
See you, boys.
Have a great day.
See you later, lads.
Bye.
Sometimes I get to feeling I was back in the old days, long ago. When we were kids, when we were young, things seemed so perfect, you know. The days were endless, we were crazy, we were young. The sun was always shining, we just lived for fun. Sometimes it seems like lately, I just don't know. The rest of my life